چرا به نبودنت عادت نمی کنم؟ هنوز با نوک انگشتانت ضربه میزنی بر شیشه های اتاق انتظار و شوق دیدار از چشمان تو سیراب می شود در حصار دهکده. چرا به نبودنت عادت نمی کنم؟ هنوز دنبال می کنی رد کامیون های حامل گوشت را تا خاوران و بر قامت بلند رویاهایت بوسه می زنی در گورهای دست جمعی. چرا به نبودنت عادت نمی کنم؟ هنوز در لابلای نسیم‌های خاردار پشت مرزهای سرمایه زخم انسان‌های آواره را فریاد می‌زنی و غرق می‌شوی در قلب کوچک پسرک سوری در ساحل دریا و تکه تکه می‌شوی در اعتراض خیابان‌ها. چرا به نبودنت عادت نمی کنم؟ هنوز لباس تنت بوی بهار می دهد در فصل پاییز و فرزندانت در ترانه هایشان تو را می سرایند. چرا به نبودنت عادت نمی کنم ای آزادی؟
چرا من بیقرارم به سر سودای آغوش تو دارم. نگفتی ماتا امشب چه زیباست، ندیدی جانم غم ناشکیباست. چرا رفتی؟ چرا من بیقرارم به سر سودای آغوش تو دارم. گرچه عمری یار من بود، امیدت گرچه در پندار من بود. یا شب شرابی دیگرم ده، زمینای حقیقت ساغرم ده. چرا رفتی؟ به سر سودای آغوش تو دارم. چرا رفتی؟ چرا من بیقرارم به سر سودای آغوش تو دارم. نگفتی ماه‌تاب امشب چه زیباست، ندیدی جانم از غم ناشکیباست. چرا رفتی؟ چرا من بیقرارم به سر سودای
که هرگز فراموش نخواهد شد. چگونه است که بگوییم ستمکاران رژیم اسلامی را میتوان بخشید؟ تضاد افکار بین اندیشمندان سدی بزرگ ساخته شد و پراکندگی آنها مانع از رشد فکری مردم شد. بخشی از روشنفکران در مقابل پول استبداد ناتوان بودند و از نوشته‌های کسروی غافل شدند و نوشته‌های کسروی تکذیب نشد تا همگان از آن نوشته‌ها بهره گیرند و به دام شیادان نیفتند. نیرنگ دینداران پوشیده ماند و مردم در گرداب استبداد دینی گرفتار شدند. سخنی دیگر از آزادیخواهانی به نام سربهداران. در سال 1360 جمعی از مبارزان راه آزادی بر علیه استبداد حاکم آن زمان به رهبری خمینی قیام کردند و در جنگل‌های مازندران مستقر شدند تا برای جنگ با فرستادگان رژیم خونخوار خمینی بجنگند. دیدگاه آنان چنین بود که باور داشتند حکومت مذهبی هرگز به مردم آزادی نخواهد داد و نظرشان را در نشریه خود بدین گونه منعکس کردند. وضع جامعه بحرانی است. فشار بر مردم افزون است، بر مردمی که برای رهایی از استبداد انقلاب کردند. اکنون ما آماده‌ایم تا با رژیم استبداد مذهبی بجنگیم. در آن زمان بیان چنین نظری کار آسانی نبود، ولی آزادیخواهان باکی از بیان نظر خود ندارند و تنها به هدف خود می‌اندیشند.
It's easy to forget how precious our lives are, how beautiful the stars are, the light that we feel, birds singing in the morning, the calm before the storming, the way the sun hits the ocean. That star that we're all from, I live by the ocean. I keep myself open. It's the life that I've chosen. It's the vision I see. I sleep with the light on, surrounded by mountains. It's the treasures I've found, and it's the people I love. It's easy to forget. Sometimes it just takes a little kindness to remember. So remind me to wake up. Remind me to open my eyes. Remind me to live my life like I'm ready to die.
You have 44, sometimes a little bit more, on that execution. Up to 30,000 people won't be believed. The government of Iran denies these that has happened. But Mr. Janshai, me and you, we know that it happened. We know it happened. We all know that it happened. Thank you, all the people, especially political prisoners that who tried every day, tried. We do not forget. We cannot forget. I can't forget. I tried, I can't. For years I told them, for God's sake, I really want to forget, but I can't. I'm a human. It's in neuropsychology, in neurosociology, neurology tells me I cannot forget. We tried everything and we try to forget, but we can't. But the other thing, the obligation that you mentioned, Ms. Janshai, or obligation not to happen again. So we are not talking about something happened yesterday. We are talking about something happened yesterday. It should not happen anymore, anywhere.
ببخشید فارسی من خیلی خوب نیست پس باید به انگلیسی بگم. And my English disclaimer is that this wonderful crowd definitely makes me feel a little bit nervous, so I will be reading off my script and thank you for your patience. It's an honor to stand in front of you all this evening in commemorating the Iranian political activists and prisoners who fought vigilantly for a freer country and a more righteous world. We gather here today to show that we will not forget the individual and collective efforts of the people before us. Instead, we draw inspiration from them and channel their strength in order to demand change of our own. Their efforts remind us that it is important to hold those on top with power accountable and answerable to the rest of us, because we will not passively accept their corruption or tyranny. I look out at this crowd, and I'm sure that many of you have served time in prison, lost loved ones, been injured, and risked your own safety for what you believe in. I thank you all for everything that you have done. Progress is an ongoing process, and in English we have a saying that is, we stand on the shoulders of giants, meaning that we discover truth by building on previous discoveries. If I am able to take the step forward, it is only thanks to the hard work of those before me who have shaped my foundation. Personally, I am the daughter of a man who spent more than 6 years in prison for resisting oppressive institutions and seeking socialism as a solution. Many of us young Iranians have parents who have fought for their integrity as well as for social and political liberation.
to be able to join you this afternoon to commemorate the political activists that were executed in Iran in 1988. And also, I'd like to express my solidarity in your pursuit of human rights for all Iranians. So I'd like to just put things into a little bit of a different perspective this afternoon. In the summer of 1988, I was actually a student at UBC. I was taking a much dreaded math course, trying to get a jump on the busy year ahead. I worked part-time and I spent the evenings and the weekends enjoying time with family and friends. My concerns were very similar to those of my friends. We were worried about relationships, about whether we had enough money and how we were going to do in university. So we had really high hopes as to what the future might hold for us. Despite being fairly well educated and raised in a very open and liberal environment, looking back now, we actually knew very little outside of the scope of our own small world. Back in 1988, there was no social media, no Facebook, Twitter, no internet. In fact, most people that I knew didn't even own a computer. So we got our view of the world and our information about what was going on around us by watching the 6 o'clock news or by occasionally flipping through a newspaper. So needless to say, we did not have a lot of in-depth information. So what we knew in 1988 was that the Iran-Iraq war was winding down. We knew that the former USSR was pulling out of Afghanistan, and we heard rumors that the Berlin Wall might come down soon. So all in all, we were fairly insulated here, and we were content with our lives. Well, over the years, of course, we had heard about the Iranian Revolution that had previously taken place, and we'd all seen sort of those looming posters of the Ayatollah Khomeini looking down disapprovingly at the people. It all seemed somewhat ominous to us, but again, the issues were so complex and there just wasn't a lot of in-depth information that was easily available. In 1988, Iran seemed like a very far away place to us here in Vancouver. The average person, I don't believe, had access to enough information to start connecting the dots as to what was taking place. One of the reasons why we didn't have enough information, beyond our own complacency, which is no excuse, of course, is because the Iranian government went to considerable efforts to make sure that the world simply was not aware of the facts. So here are some of the facts that we didn't know in 1988 as students in Vancouver. While we were enjoying our summer here in Iran, there was a campaign that was ramping up. So without warning, authorities suspended family visits to political prisoners. The prison doors slammed shut. Communications were cut. Prisoners were not allowed access to newspapers, televisions, or radio. They weren't allowed to communicate with each other. They were taken one by one to a special room. And I think Ali spoke in detail about this, about the series of questions that they were asked. So many prisoners at that time believed that they were close to being released. So there was hope that they would soon be free. What happened, however, was quite different. They faced execution by hanging, and those who were not hung were often tortured or executed by firing squad. Now, we have estimates that there's anywhere from about 3,500 up to over 30,000 political activists and others who were killed during that summer of 1988. It's beyond imagination for us. So who were these people? Well, they were men, women, and even children, teenagers. Many of them were intellectuals, many were students, like myself at the time. There were leftists, members of opposition parties, and religious and ethnic minorities. So many had been originally sentenced for very minor things like handing out pamphlets or newspapers, perhaps attending a demonstration, or raising funds for prisoners' families.
Significant of this audio for us gathering here tonight. 28 years passed, and fascist Islamic Republic, who has taken over my country, I will not call them revolutionaries. They are not. It has been totally in denial about the thousands of political prisoners. They massacred without giving them the right to defend themselves. Many of you sitting here, you know what I'm talking about. It includes lots of people that I knew in university. This tape proves beyond the doubt that not only the executions happened, but they also committed a genocide. This is different because they never admitted until this tape came out. This is an important evidence that documents the voice of those carrying out a message of prisoners and captives without due process or trials. They never had that chance. It is important because those involved with the executions are still in power in Islamic government of Iran, which I put fascist in the beginning of that. This audio confirms that the Islamic regime, leaders who have held position of the power since the beginning of the Islamic regime establishment 1979, I will call it takeover, not revolution, must face justice in the International Crime Court for one of the worst instances of the crime against humanity.
شب
بریده می ترسیدیم.